What's up, everyone? I'm Nathan. This is Steven, and we're back here today with Three Swords Productions. We got a fun matchup today. Some Zoro versus Kid. Ready to jump into it?
Let's go! Alright, this is going to showcase my favorite parts of playing an off-meta deck and playing against the luckiest fucking Zoro player on Earth! God. Let's go! Alright. Starting with a decent shuffle here. Probably shuffling for too long. Oh, we've recorded this game at 1.2 speed. Didn't realize that was what was happening. Sorry about that. If the game goes by a little too fast, apologies. Just have to bear with me here. All right. And get that nice die roll. Roll an 8 versus. Oh, the off-screen number.
Oh, they saved it 6. All right.
6. Okay. All right. So I think Kid goes second here, right?
I have to imagine. We've generally accepted this so far that
I
the
think,
extra card is just better.
Yeah, I think the extra Don, the extra card is like typically a good reward. I think you almost always.
I
All right, so he's flashing that double Zoro Nami Sunny opening. Okay, so pretty good opening. And on my side, I'm holding Nico Mamushi's, so I'm pretty happy with the way that one's working out for me.
Yep. And we're going for the Nami.
Start
Grab the Zoro.
Ooh, adding Zoro number 3 there. Okay, so it's gonna be a fast game here. All right, so I have a Bonnie to start out with.
There's a second Bonnie there, is it? No,
Yeah.
that's an Apu. It might be.
Got an Apu, a Bonnie at Capone. And we may be starting on Capone here. Because the thing we're worried about, playing the Bonnie out and just losing it to the Nami. But playing the Bonnie, having him swing the Nami, does force the Nami to be tapped, which lets you attack on it, which gets those Makino plays out pretty early.
I think it's generally okay against the Zoro deck to allow this stuff. You want to fix your hand up to make it the best it could be against the matchup.
Yep.
So.
And we do see the Nami come at the Bonnie, of course. All right. Of course, we're not going to counter out either, so.
I think I think we'll see the Nekomamushi Izo Law side come out a lot stronger than we usually will again. Instead of the Kinemon decks that.
This is absolutely you have more time. You're more geared towards trying to get those characters on the board.
Right.
In this Kid deck. Kinemon not really playing Law, so you don't get to see the bouncing that Nekomamushi plays. Okay, and we do swing with Zoro as well as Leader Zoro. And we are down to 3 life here.
Did draw Kiku, it looks like, which is cool.
Kiku is a good pickup. We have a lot of tap my opponent's character effects, which is pretty good.
Right.
It's typically what we're looking for with Kid. We're going to play out the Beige and the Kiku.
That also makes a lot of sense.
Pretty Dawn efficient there. And that feels pretty strong here.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it still feels like you're in a good spot here.
So we're going to get to swing. We're actually going to untap and go to 6 Dawn. So we're going to be able to attach Dawn to a Kiku, swing, tap down something that he plays this turn, and then still get to play my 5-drop Law.
Very nice.
Okay, we see him play Nami, grab Rush Luffy to hand.
Yeah.
So we know about the Zoro that he's already played. We know about the Luffy that he added. And we are swinging 6 with Zoro and 6 with Leader Zoro. And brutal, that is another Zoro coming out of the hand, so we are going to block that.
Yeah. Starting to cost a lot of cards from what's going on from your opponent's side.
Yeah, and we're looking at the Nekomamushis and saying, wow, you really don't tap anything, do you?
Yeah. Well, we thought you were going to be good here, but...
Okay, but we're going to swing 6 on Zoro and tap the Nami. It's going to fetch an Otama from hand.
Okay, not the worst.
Now we can play Law and restand Law. We also have the option of just playing out Basil Hawkins and saying, okay, well, the Zoros are going to have another turn, but the Law might not have the most effective start here, so we are going to just try and clean up the Zoros instead.
Yeah, opting for neither of the 5-drops means that you won't have them to pitch in the future, but a double attack does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so the thing that we were trying to accomplish with Basil Hawkins on the following turn, we can actually just try and do that right now with our Leader swing for 7. So that's kind of the line there, especially since the Zoros have already had 1 full turn. And we got the Otama out of him on the first swing. So we actually did feel pretty comfortable, but he did manage to brook out of that. Okay, and Zoro is going to equip up and probably going to see a swing for 6 here. We are still at 3 life, so we're still feeling okay.
Nami attack for 5.
The 5 swings, pretty.
They start to heat up.
Okay, it's going on the Ikiku though.
Okay, I don't mind that really.
And Zoro comes across for 6. We do have a 2K in our hand, so we will lose that. Oh, sorry about that. And we did not. So you're supposed to slow reveal the event trigger before you use it. I put it into my hand by accident, so definitely don't do that if you're in tournament.
Yep.
Alex and I were playing pretty fast, so.
Yeah. And I cross for 6 again.
And that is going to be Zoro number 3 coming down. So we worked pretty hard to clear the other 2, but that Zoro is brutal. We do know that he's holding Luffy. So yeah, Nekomamushi really looking not great.
It's been waiting, sitting there the entire time.
It's been waiting, yeah. And so it's really powerful, the Zoros. I have the ability to tap down his characters, but of course his characters are getting all of the rush effects. And something that you notice with that Nami is that it actually got to swing 2 times because, I didn't have any characters on board to really threaten the Nami. So, this is kind of like when you play Bonnie and they tap their Nami to swing on your Bonnie, it really opens up the opportunity to just kill the Namis because you get to these like mid to late game stages of this game, and this is the power of Nami. Like, it's 2 free 5K swings with very minimal Dawn attachments. It doesn't look like much, but when Zoro's losing every card they play, it actually is a lot.
Yep. And you run out 2 blockers here to help hopefully protect. We do know 5-drop Luffy is in hand, and I'm sure you're thinking about that.
Absolutely, but this is to block the Nami swing, this is to block the leader swing, and then we're probably going to take the Luffy. But we've gotten through 3 Zoro. We know about the Luffy. It's about to come down right now. We have not had the opportunity to deal any damage to him yet, so we will have to. So we kind of feel like, hey, after this Luffy comes down, we should have control of the board. And then that should give us plenty of time to kind of reestablish dominance here. So we're feeling pretty good right now.
Okay.
I like the way the game has gone so far.
Block with Law and use the Nekomamushi, which has been sitting there forever.
Use the Nico because, at this point, Nico has not done it for me, so we are just going to lose it.
Yep, using it here, and just as we expected, rushing in for the last piece of life there. Untapping, looking for a miracle.
I will make a note so far that I did not really like the way that I played that block just now. I think the 6K block, the 6K leader swing, I should have blocked with Capone and then left my 6K body for the Nami to force him to block with the swing for 6. Which he ultimately did do that. He did swing for 6 anyways, but I just didn't really.
Yeah, he didn't have to commit that way.
Yeah. So I have this blocker here, and I'm feeling like, hey, I have 2 blockers. I'm dominant right now. We lose to exactly Luffy. That's it.
Yeah, but you've already dealt with one of them.
We've dealt with 1 Luffy, 3 Zoro, and he does just throw down the other Luffy. So that is a brutal finish to the game. But that's just sometimes against Zoro. They really do not give it to you. So
yeah.
You gotta earn those against Zoro sometimes.
And you did have all the blockers that you probably would have hoped for, but that doesn't matter when all the rush comes in and all the Luffys come in.
Yeah, that's a really cool version. This version of Kid can get to those like late game board states where you are just like, I have 5-drop Law, I have 7-drop Kid, I have like a couple of chump blockers to even protect those guys, and it can feel like super oppressive because you have the leader swing to kind of go 7K on Zoro, untap 7K on Zoro. Like, I've cleaned up the board, I've played super control-y, and then we get to the end game and your opponent has 2 cards in hand, and you have like 4. You feel pretty dominant in that match. But of course, we're in set 2, baby, and we are coming across the table. So, those things don't quite matter as much as they used to all the time. So, yeah. Well, that was a good game and a nice showcase of, like, definitely why you should be playing Zoro right now.
Zoro's been pretty good, yeah.
All right, guys. If you like the content, hit subscribe. And if you're interested in more action, we've basically played every deck against every deck at this point. Click on the playlist on the screen right now, and we will see you in the next one.